They were just victims of poverty. So we started LEDI. My wife and myself at the time, we were not married. We were just friends. We were eager and very enthusiastic about, bringing a change in Liberia. We started this organization to help reduce the level of poverty in the country that led to most people destroying the lives of other people.
Okay. And so what is the work that Letty is doing now?
Currently, LEDI, our signature um, project is to construct a modern public library. Liberia is a country that does not have a single modern public library. So what we're trying to do is to impact the infrastructure of the country, modernize it, as well as also building the human capacity of ordinary Liberians, that's most especially the youth, the girls that don't have access to technology, computer. We want to promote the STEM curriculum in Liberia, so that youth employment can increase. We can decrease youth unemployment. The other thing we do is we provide scholarship, youth scholarship. Um, there are a lot of impoverished students, and the difference between them continuing to be enrolled in school and not going to school is maybe $50, $100. So we intervene in those areas, helping them. We have designed our scholarship program to take them from inception to graduation, maybe to a master's degree level.
Okay. And how many students have you been able to impact so far?
Since we started the program about 3 years ago, we have impacted about 600 students.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is. It
Wow.
is. Yes,
600 students, guys.
yes, yes.
600. That deserves an applause. I'm sorry. I'm trying to multitask here. So my applause is a little bit late, but 600 students, that's phenomenal. And what is your goal? What is the goal of Letty? I know 600 students is what you've already gotten so far, but what is your goal?
Well, the country, Liberia, we have a country that probably 50, 50, less than 60% of the population are youth. A lot of them don't have opportunities. So if we can reach that goal, covering a lot of them that don't have the opportunity to go to school, we will be happy. The other thing is to build a chain of libraries across the entire country. Right now, we have started one. For the past 2 years, we have been raising money, and we have the library right now at the window level.
All right.
Yeah, it's a multi-story building, but we have it at the window level, and we are very happy with the results that we have achieved in just a short amount of time.
Okay. So tell me a little bit. There's a special young man that I've been following you guys for a little bit. And there was a special young man who dedicated himself to help building this project. But unfortunately, he went home to be with the Lord. And I know that that was something that was very devastating and very hard for the organization as a whole. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Oh, that's a tough one. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you emotional, but he was so impactful because his passion. I'll let you tell the story of him.
it's okay. We lost a lot of great people in our life, and we just have to move on and allow their legacy to live on. And that's the story with Genesee Baba. Genesee Baba is one of the constructors of our building. He's the chief engineer, a very bright young guy who went through the war and didn't have much opportunities, and he was mentored by a few persons, and he was he had his education through the vocational training, and since then he has been doing amazing work. And when we met him, he got so excited about the project, and he wanted something that he could do that would be like a signature project that would change the minds of people. In Genesee, last year from last year up to this year when we did our construction there, Genesee did a remarkable job. He really mobilized people, built the library to the window level. And just a few months ago, we heard the news that at a very young age, Genesee passed.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was difficult for all of us, especially knowing the kind of potential he has. and what he could have achieved, what he did to change his life around, and most especially being associated with an organization like ours that is trying to transform the future of young people in the country.
But you see, you still impacted his life even before the completion of the building. He was still a part of it. So, that's praiseworthy, because even though he may not be here for the completion, he was part of the beginning. His legacy will carry on throughout,
Genesis' name is going to be inscribed on the wall of those that impacted development in the area of Liberia. So his name will forever be remembered, because it's going to be inscribed on the library building.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I know that's something his family is going to be very proud of.
Yes.
So, I thank you for that. But I understand that you guys have something coming up in October.
Yeah. We have our annual fundraiser. It's the 5th annual fundraiser. Every year we have a program where we honor people humanitarian that have transformed their communities, extraordinary leaders. And in that vein, we also raise money for our organization.
Okay.
This year, we are very excited to be going back to Cleveland, Ohio, where we have been having our events, and where this organization all got started. And this year, we are very excited to be honoring Mr. Eric Gordon, the CEO of the Cleveland School District, Dr. Boris Shade, founder of the Sankofa Institute, Reverend Dr. Moba Bosse, chaplain of the Metro Health Medical Center, and Mr. Brian Zimmerman, who is the CEO of the Metro Parks. These are individuals that have been transforming their communities in line with what LEDI is trying to pursue. So we'll be very excited to honor them. And the event is going to be on October 18 at the Cleveland State University in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, we are in Atlanta and doing this interview in Atlanta. We are asking all of us, wherever you are listening to this interview, to be a part of that program, whether you can attend or not. And the way you can do that is through sponsorship of the event.
Okay. And the information will be on the Afrofusebox page as well, about the event and how you can get involved. Well, any last words before we end this interview? And thank you so much for joining us on the Fusebox.
Yeah. I just want to, give you shout out for doing this. I work in the studio here. It's amazing. And the energy I see coming from you is amazing as well. And in as much that we come here to talk about our events and our causes, I also want to, let the listening public know that Afrofusebox is the real deal.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And I hope people can try to support this station that is giving voices to organizations like our organization. Liberia is in a critical stage right now. Africans American own Liberia. Liberia is a country that was founded by African Americans, and some people say President Obama was the first African American president. No, he's the first African American president for the United States of America. But we have had like 7 or 8 other presidents that came from Virginia, that came from Kentucky, that went to Liberia. So Liberia is the home of African Americans, and I hope we can try to leverage that relationship that we all have, to make sure that Liberia can also benefit from the generosity and the friendship and the collaborative efforts of African Americans as well.
Okay. And that's one of the reasons why Afrofusebox is so important, because it's showing the world what Africa brings to the table, and, how our ingenuity also supplies the world and supplies, like the components of your cell phone, your rubber and things like that. But not just that, but music, that we're all connected in some kind of way. We're interconnected in some kind of way. And that's why it's called the Fusebox, because out of that Fusebox comes, a portal where it can supply, and I just want them to be proud of who they are as a people,
Yes.
as a people, African Americans, people of color in general. And so thank you so much for joining us on the Fuse Box. It's been an amazing thing. Shout out to your wife, Mrs. Joan Darkortey, who couldn't be here today, but girl, we got you. How you doing? I can't wait to see you. We got a special announcement coming from Afro Fuse Box this week concerning Mrs. Darkortey. So thank you so much. Again, guys, this is Rufus Darkortey of LEDI. Information will be on the page. And again, like he said, let's support each other. Let's support 106 Live Radio for allowing, voices like Afro Fuse Box to have a voice. I think sometimes as a people, we forget to support one another. And, I'm kind of grateful that you mentioned that, you're grateful for the station that gives Afro Fuse Box the voice. And I think if we do that with one another, I think we can go great places.
And I know we are about to end this section, but I just want to mention that you just mentioned a critical point where we all have to help each other.
Right.
And look, we are very powerful. We as individuals,
right.
We are very powerful. LEDI, when we founded LEDI, we were of the mindset that we can do it.
Right.
Even if nobody comes, we can do it.
Exactly.
It will even take us 1 billion years.
Right.
If we live to see 1 million years, we'll still be doing it.
Exactly.
And we try to use LEDI to also make people to believe in themselves that they can take ownership of solving their own problems.
Right.
And I'm glad that you are also doing the same thing, giving individuals the voices so that we can find a way to solve our own problems as well.
That's how we can change the world, one
yes.
person at a time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Darkortey. Back to the music, guys. Let's go. This is Kiss Daniel with Mama.
It's Young John the